Welcome, everybody. I'm here with Dr. Arjun Pai. It's a great pleasure to have him. He has a passion for nakshatras, and he's going to be talking to us today about Nadi Astrology and how it relates to finding the appropriate remedies for your chart in a very fascinating fashion. So, Dr. Pai, it's wonderful to have you with us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ryan, for having me on your channel.
Yeah, well, it's great. I've seen many of your videos, and I've always thought, I would love to talk to this individual because he seems to have such a drive to understand astrology. And even though earlier on when we were discussing, you mentioned that you said you don't know very much. And I think none of us know very much about astrology. So anyway, I look forward to hearing what you have to say. And I really appreciate, the time you've taken to be here with us today. So thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Ryan. Ryan, this would be almost the first video that I would be doing apart from nakshatras.
Mm-hmm.
If you really see, most of the videos that I do is only about nakshatras.
Mm-hmm.
But many of the viewers, your viewers, might like to know that I had dabbled around in Nadi, Parashar, KP, then Bhigu,
Mm-hmm.
Jyotish,
Mm-hmm.
And then finally I came to nakshatra. So I was like a rudderless, boat.
Right.
I was all over the place, So, and when I went to each of these systems, what I found out is they're all very complementary.
Mm-hmm.
All of them complement each other. And Nadi has been, I've researched on Nadi for about a year. And I'd also worked with one of the leading Nadi astrologers in Mumbai.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Bhuta Siddha. And we have written a lot of articles together for Saptarshi's astrology,
Mm-hmm.
on Nadi astrology.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I started learning under his tutelage. And I found Nadi to be, it works very well. Nadi works very well if you understand the basis, the underlying basis.
Right.
Now, today what I'm going to discuss is a technique that I learned from Professor A.B. Sundaram. He's a great proponent of Nadi, and he's been doing Jyotish for the last 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
So this was about 2.5 years ago at a workshop that he made a mention about this technique. This technique, what I'm going to talk to you about is very, very simple. But the results that it can potentially give is, far greater than you can think about. So today what happens is, why I want to do this is, I think, by far would be my best video that I would have done, because this
we hope.
Yeah, we hope.
Yeah.
So because there's a I've never talked about remedies because I don't practice remedies.
Mm-hmm.
I personally don't recommend remedies to anybody,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't practice Jyotish. But people have to know what is the root, or where is the origin of these remedies coming from. Okay.
Right.
So many of us go after remedies, and we want to do remedies, but we really don't know why are we doing those remedies. You just go to an astrologer and he says, oh, wear a lovely, big, flawless blue sapphire, and things will go well for you.
Mm-hmm.
But then you realize only some of them who wore it would actually get the benefit. Some of them feel, oh, this ruby or this sapphire that I wore didn't give me any results.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Or people today, they sell expensive pujas, expensive, or that is also another thing about, trying to learn new mantras.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So what I want to teach you today is a very, very simple thing. I will use Nadi. I would also see if I can use a little bit of Lal Kitab. Lal Kitab is red book. And then I will talk very little about the mantra science, because mantras, there is a complete science behind mantras.
Mm-hmm.
So it is not about going on YouTube or buying some DVDs and then listening to mantras and start chanting them, because
Right.
there is a complete science that you have to understand, that the pronunciation has to be right. There are so many things that you need to know about mantras. So unless a guru has given you the mantra, you cannot be using that mantra. And if you have to use that mantra, you would kind of want to know how to use that mantra.
Right.
So what are the different aspects of those mantras? Right. I won't go very deep in detail. I'll just be superficially touching on these points. But let's go to the Nadi thing.
Okay, good.
And why these remedies are very important, right? And how to do these remedies. So this is a very generic thing, what I'm going to explain. And I want people to focus only on the underlying concept, the foundation,
right?
And get into the what I'm trying to say. So it's I do not recommend remedies, but I just want to teach you the science behind remedies. Okay.
Yeah. So people can understand the reasons behind the why.
Exactly.
Yes. Good.
The whys of the remedies. Okay. So let me share my screen, Brian.
Okay. Very nice.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, looks beautiful.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is a Nadi method of, okay, I've written there as transits, but you can also use it on transits, and you can see that. But let me go to this basic concept of the Rashis and the elements associated with them, right? Now, Aries is associated with fire, Taurus, the element or tattva, what we call as, or Panchamahabhuta, is associated with earth. Then you have Gemini, which is air. Then you have Cancer, which is water, and so on and so forth. So this is, I think, the very, very basics of Jyotish. Now, when I learned this from Professor E.V. Sundaram, what struck me is he said, what we tend to do is we see that there is a planet sitting in a particular sign, and then you say, okay, this planet is badly placed there, and let's do the remedy of that planet. Okay. So now what he told me is he told me a different dimension of things. He says a planet would be the same whether it is for Ryan or for Arjun or for anybody else out there. Because the planet is not going to change its inherent qualities for you. So the planet, by remedying the planet, you are not actually making, you're not helping the planet in any way.
Right. Okay.
Right. Okay. So what he says is, if you have to help the planet, then you have to help the planet by remedying the tattva, the element, in which it is sitting or where it is posited. Right. So basically, the reasoning is you are not going to do any remedies, for the planet, but you will do remedies which will help that planet.
Okay.
Okay.
And so just real quick, so when you're describing that, when you say you're not doing a remedy for a planet, like if you have a planet in a particular element, would you still do a remedy related to that planet? Like if
yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So you would do remedy to that planet, but you're not remedying that planet, but you're doing a remedy to help that planet. So it is related to the planet. The remedy is related to the planet, but you are not doing it specifically to the planet. For example, now if you say, okay, my Saturn is very badly placed, okay, it might be anywhere. So immediately you say, okay, can I wear some gemstones? Right? So typically, most of the astrologers who sell gemstones will say, oh yeah, buy this expensive gemstone and this should make your life better.
Right.
Although there is a complete science of gemology behind it, but I think today it is commercialized. Mostly, many of them say I wore a very expensive sparkling thing, a flawless diamond or a flawless sapphire, but it didn't help me in any way. But there are other people who say, oh, it did work for me. So I'm not going and debating about whether these things will work for you or they won't work for you. That is a different aspect. But what I want to talk about is the foundation. What is the genesis of these things?
Right.
Now in Nadi, what you say is the trines are as though they are the same signs. right? So if it is 1, 5, 9, they are as though they are in the same house. So any planets which fall in the trines is what you say in Nadi, they are in the same sign.
Okay. And that's because it's the same element. The trines are the same element, correct?
Exactly.
Correct.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So they are the same element. So good that you clarified that. So it's the same element. So what you can see here is, it's fire, 1, 5, 9. So it's fire, fire, fire. So that's the triangle that you see, right? And similarly, if you do the same thing with earth, 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 earth. So basically what you have to know is if any planet comes in any of, or if there are multiple planets sitting in fiery houses, then you might want to, by just doing one remedy, you can actually boost the energies of these planets sitting in fiery houses. Right?
Right.
Now, the logic behind this is very, very simple. And I could do this lesson probably less than in 5 minutes, but I'll go a little bit deeper into it.
Yeah, good.
And it's as simple as if you have a planet which is badly placed in a fire sign, then the Nadi says you could do a remedy related to a fire ritual, which is a fire sacrifice, or a homa, or a yagna. Okay, so something related to fire, because it's a fiery element. So it is basically, it is as though you cannot use any other element to boost that planet sitting there. So when you're doing the fire ritual, you do the fire ritual for the planet which is sitting there.
Right.
So if it is Saturn, then you do a fire ritual for Saturn. If it is Mars, then you do it for Mars. Okay, but naturally Mars wouldn't need that much of a thing because Mars is already a fiery thing, and so
right. If he's in a fire sign, he's probably already doing well.
He is doing well already.
Right. Yes. Okay. Good.
Because it's friendly houses, so you might not want to do a fire ritual. You might, you might also want to do a meditation of. See, what I've also seen is whatever things that you can do physically, you can get equal results by doing it mentally as well. It is called as Manas Puja. So you can, if you think of it's a good planet which is sitting there, you could also do the yagna in your mind. Right? You need not do it physically.
Right. Yes. There's one of my favorite books. It's Vasista's Yoga, and it always talks about how if you do something in your mind, that's almost as equal as doing it out in the real world. So that's a good point.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. So you could do that as well. Then it says if it is a earthy sign, earth. So earth is related to minerals, gems, roots, herbs. So these would be the best remedies for that planet which is weakly placed in an earthy sign.
Okay.
So if some planet is badly placed in an earthy sign, if Saturn is in an earthy sign, then probably you can recommend gemstones, or you can recommend herbs, or you can recommend roots. People also wear roots, tie them around, and probably wear it as a root in the neck or on your ankles or anything, like an amulet, like a protective amulet. Then the Nadi says that if it is a Aries sign, then mantras, chanting of mantras would help that planet. So you can chant the Navagraha mantra of that planet, right? So that would help you. And finally, he says if the Nadi says if it is sitting in a watery sign, only then you would give dan. Dan is charity. Right? So water is as though it flows away from you, right? Water is very fluid, it flows away from you. So that is where most of the remedies where you do in Lal Kitab, usually you float something in flowing water. You want that element to go away from you.
Interesting.
So if the force of the water is greater, it gives a greater ability for that item when it flows away from you. It is as though, say, suppose, for example, it's a Rahu remedy, right?
Mm-hmm.
A Rahu in Lal Kitab is also a coconut.
Okay.
Okay, so putting a coconut in flowing water, or they say even in what do you call that? Dirty water also,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like a septic water which is flowing, not still.
Right.
Don't put that item in a still water. You want the Rahu to flow away from you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So put that item in the water, and the item is going to go away from you. So it is symbolic,
Right.
that element has gone away from you. So do you understand now what is the logic?
Yeah. I think that's great, because I've seen those remedies, and I've even recommended some of those remedies, and the folks were always saying to me, "Well, can I do it in just this, this lake in my backyard?" And I said, "No, it says it's got to move fast." And so it's good that you're explaining the reason why. I think that's good for our listeners to hear. So thank you. Yeah. So
still water, if you put it in still water, the Rahu is still there around you. It is still. Right. You want that Rahu element to move away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, if Saturn is very bad, for example, in your chart, you might want to give away items of Saturn like iron,
mm-hmm.
steel,
mm-hmm.
all of that. So that would also help.
Right.
So, and Saturn is also associated with the legs.
Mm-hmm.
So a great remedy I've seen for Saturn is donating, legs to somebody else. Donating legs, as in those what do you call those for people? The amputees wear those.
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the name off the top of my head.
So
it'll come to us.
Yeah. So in India, there is a famous organization called as Jaipur Food, so which gives you, I think it is prosthetic leg.
Yeah, that's it.
Prosthetic leg.
Prosthetics, yes.
Yeah, that's right. So that's a great remedy for Saturn if you want to do that.
Interesting. Okay, good. Mm-hmm.
Because Saturn is associated with legs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
See, in any chart, in the natural zodiac, you see Capricorn is knees,
mm-hmm.
and Aquarius are the legs. So that Shani, Saturn rules. So Shani rules the legs.
Right. And so that would be why giving in charity in that regard for. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Mm-hmm.
Charity of the legs. So that would.
One quick question, as you talk, you're mentioning these remedies, and when I think about, for example, the earth sign, that would be more things like gemstones, correct?
Yes. Yeah, gemstones.
And in that case, gemstones really wouldn't necessarily be helpful for Saturn usually, because when Saturn's in an earth sign, he's usually in a friend sign. Is it as simple as that, or is there more to it than that?
No, I think, it is in the friendly sign. Mm-hmm. So that's why I say, why go for a gemstone and pay so much when you could wear a root,
right?
Or you could wear anything else.
Yes.
So you can wear an iron ring.
Uh-huh.
Or people also say, putting a horseshoe
mm-hmm.
outside your house. Also, horseshoe is.
Yes.
People use that as well.
Right. Okay. Good. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah. So that's the reasoning is if you understand what is the basic of it, then you will understand. But here is a disclaimer.
Okay.
What Professor Sundaram says. The only time that you do not give dan or charity is if that planet is sitting, or that planet becomes a benefic. For example, if it is Lagna Lord, if it is 5th Lord or 9th Lord.
Okay.
You don't ever give charity of articles of that planet, even if it is falling in a watery sign.
Okay. Can you restate the reasons again? It's the ascendant Lord, and what were the rest of them?
Yeah. The ascendant Lord, mm-hmm. the 5th Lord, and the 9th Lord.
Okay.
1, 5, 9.
Okay.
So those become your, they are benefics for you, no matter what. Mm-hmm. Right. Now the ascendant, it depends on techniques like what you take the ascendant. Would you take the sun as the ascendant, the moon as the ascendant, or the lagna as the ascendant? That depends on, what is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So there are many methods that, they're not easy way to calculate. I think you look at many things like avastha is the state of the thing. You look at shad balas, and there's so many methods to find that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
So whichever is powerful. So never ever give donation for your 159.
Okay. Is that because it's giving away your own?
Yeah,
it's giving away your own.
You're giving away your luck.
Yes.
Why would you want to give away your luck?
Okay.
Why do you want to lose the benefits?
Right.
What are helping you? So Lagna is always benefic, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Lagna Lord. Mm-hmm. Right. So it's a benefic. So, and fifth house is the same.
Mm-hmm.
And ninth house is the same. Ninth house is Bhagya. It's as though if you give charity of that, you're losing the strength of the planet, or you're losing the benefits, results of the planet. So that's the only thing that you have to remember in this system.
Mm-hmm. And it's specific for charity. It's not for any of the others.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's for charity, because charity is you're giving away.
Right.
So you don't give away your benefits. Mm-hmm. I would like to keep my benefits with me, or rather strengthen my benefits.
Right. They help you do your own work if you can keep your benefits with you.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Good.
Right. Mm-hmm. So this is a very, very simple technique. Now you can go and add another layer on it if you want to. Mm-hmm. Right. Because you can bring the Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha as well. Mm-hmm. To the train. So doing any fire ritual, it's actually going to enhance your dharma as well. Dharma element in you. Mm-hmm. So you have to know, just find out how many planets are falling in dharma rashis, how many are in artha rashis, how many are. So if there are more planets in dharma, by doing a fire ritual to the planets in one go, you are actually enhancing their qualities in that. And what will happen is those trines will suddenly start giving you results.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Yes.
Because
yes.
they're all in the one. It's as though they are all in one house.
Right. So when you're looking at the remedies, whether it's a fire ritual or donation or mantra, that anytime you do a particular kind of remedy, that's in a sense working with the element of all the signs that have that element as its foundation, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Good. Yes, that's good. Mm-hmm.
So it's as simple as that. It's not complicated. Right. It's very, very profound. Mm-hmm. Now there's another. Yeah, sorry.
Quickly, what happens, let's say you've got good planets that are in good dignity in a particular sign. Would it help to strengthen the positive aspect of those planets by doing remedies for them, or is it just not recommended since they're already doing well?
Usually, you don't recommend them because you don't want to tamper with their energies, because they are giving good results.
They're already doing well, so you don't want to mess with it. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So imagine you are healthy. Do you go to see a doctor and say, give me some medicines because I want to be more healthy?
Right. Yes.
Right. Uh-huh. So he might give you, multivitamins, or, say, take these things, which will just make you feel better. But why would you go to see a doctor?
Right.
So you don't want to go and see an astrologer. If you think that those houses are doing well for you, those planets are benefics.
Excellent.
But if there is a specific need that you want to enhance them for spiritual purpose, maybe you could do that.
Okay.
I don't see the reason why you should want to play around with the karmic role that they're already playing in your life. So you don't want to alter their natural cycle. That's a biorhythm of those planets.
Right.
So that's why I say, if you ask me very honestly, I would say don't do any remedies.
Okay.
But there's a school of thought of people who say, oh, I believe in remedies and I do that. Because you are interfering with the biorhythm of these planets. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. So when you do those remedies, you can give a temporary stopgap. It's like your boat is leaky because there is a hole in the boat. Mm-hmm. So you can go put a rubber stopper and stop it for a little while. But what happens when that dasha is gone, and again the next dasha comes, again of that same antar dasha or pratyutar dasha, if you lose the rubber stopper, again the boat starts becoming leaky.
So when you said you would say you personally don't recommend remedies. Does that mean for anything, or just for the good planets?
I'm saying in general, I would say if you're going, in general, this is a personal thing.
I understand, and I'm just interested in it because there is a part of me that also feels that way. But I'm just curious, from your point of view, why is it that you say that? Do you mind going into that, or is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I can speak about that.
Sure.
See, I always, it's not that I have come up with this thing now. I just feel that if you believe in God,
mm-hmm.
or even if you don't believe in God, your life just moves on.
Mm-hmm.
But you can draw your energies from the higher self and not depend on something else. So basically what I feel is remedies are necessary or essential for only those people who are not able to control their mind. If you have a strong mind,
mm-hmm.
and you strengthen your mind or your moon, then nothing will impact you, what is happening around.
Mm-hmm.
So, and how can somebody else who's sitting, now I'll give you an analogy. I don't mean to say these remedies don't work. These remedies do work.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So imagine that you are paying, a lot of money to get a puja done or a fire sacrifice done, maybe 1,000 miles away,
mm-hmm.
right? You're paying him, and the priest is going to sit and do the yagna.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the yagna, what is yagna doing actually? See, what is yagna is, your body is low in calcium. Imagine your body is low in calcium.
Okay.
What do you take? Supplements of calcium,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that is what yagna is doing. Yagna is, you're putting certain, herbs, certain, wood, a particular type of food. So if it is a Mars homa or
mm-hmm.
a Mars yagna or a Mars fire sacrifice, you put a particular type of wood for Mars,
mm-hmm.
which is, and you don't put other wood. You
mm-hmm.
put a particular type of. So basically, when that wood is burning, what happens is it releases certain ions, positive ions.
Mm-hmm.
And those positive ions are immediately absorbed by you and your body.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because you are deficient in that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're deficient in Mars, so those ions, when they burn, when they're released into the environment, those positive ions are immediately coming and making or filling up the deficiency in you.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Now imagine that you are sitting thousands of miles away. You are not present there. You are not listening to the chants which are happening.
Mm-hmm.
You are not there to absorb that energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, at the astral level, it might help,
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because what is happening to you at the astral level. Mm-hmm. But it's all about body, mind, and soul. You have to be totally involved in that yagna.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Well, just out of curiosity, again, the way you're describing it makes perfect sense to me. And, one of my role models or idols, I guess you could say, is Ramana Maharshi. And, he would always say, don't worry about it. It will come out all right in the end, which is true. But I've always been curious, being an astrologer, because on one hand, you can say something like that. And even when it came to him taking medicine, he would say, what difference does it make if I take this medicine? Either I'm going to get better or I'm not. But if we take it that far and we think about, medicine and so on, I mean, isn't that in a way a type of remedy? And do you understand kind of the logic I'm trying to follow here? So what I mean to say is, from your perspective, we all have to do this ourselves, but like, where is the line drawn between, yes, do this to help yourself versus just turn within and let it do its thing, let it pass, Any thoughts on that?
Yeah. I think even if it is a fire remedy, mm-hmm. you could do a fire ritual. It's a very, very simple fire ritual called as Agnihotra. Have you heard of Agnihotra?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Agnihotra is a very, very powerful way. You don't have to spend, hundreds and thousands of dollars by paying somebody who you don't know whether he's doing it because he just is after the money or whatever. So anything that you do, any remedy, mm-hmm. you should do it yourself.
Okay.
Don't expect that somebody else would come and, be able to, because what you want to transform, what you want to, so it doesn't make sense that somebody else is eating the medicine for you. So
Right.
you want to eat the medicine.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
So in the right doses, remedies are good.
Okay.
But what happens today is people are obsessed with remedies. They want to do multiple remedies. So I would say, if you have faith, you can just do one remedy and stick to it and see the results.
Yes. Yeah, that has been somewhat of a problem, in the past when I've recommended yagyas for people. I would recommend them and they would go and talk to someone about getting these yagyas. And then the people that they went to would end up recommending 5 or a whole list of yagyas they said that they needed, when really they only needed, maybe one. So it's interesting. I follow. Okay. Well, I didn't mean to go on that route so much, but I do appreciate your input, because it is something I've thought about quite a bit. So returning back to your presentation, I apologize for the sidetrack.
No. I think that's beautiful. These sort of discussions actually help you.
Yeah.
Because what is happening, Ryan, today, even in India, this is the mindset of the people. The mindset of the people is, if you go to see a doctor, you're a general physician, that you are suffering from cold and cough, and if he says, oh, I think it's just a normal seasonal cough and cold, after diagnosing you, and he says, don't worry, take a lot of fluids, and if you feel you want to take some paracetamols or something like that, if you're feeling there's a lot of body temperature, then that's fine. You can get it for it's very cheap, paracetamol. So maybe you can do that, or you don't need to do anything. You just take some citrus fruits or whatever. If he gives you a natural remedy, then you come out and say, oh, this doctor is not worthwhile because he's not giving me. But the same thing, you go to another doctor, he will give you, he says, take these 5 tablets, I think you will be all right. And then he charges you for that. And then you say, okay, this guy must be good because he's giving me medicines.
Right.
But this guy is just saying, take a lot of fluids and, stay home, stay warm. And, so the difference is, even if I give you a remedy, which is very, very easy, people always think, oh, no, I don't think that it is going to be effective. Let me go and pay, whatever, $1,000 and get, 9 yajnas done.
Right.
$1,000. So this is the only thing that I want to say is, when things are simple, they will give you results.
Right.
You want to look for complicated solutions to solve our problems, when you can get easy solutions to solve your problems.
Right. Yes. Good. Excellent points. Yes. It's good. Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go to the next. You can add another layer here.
Okay.
The another layer I'm adding here is Dhatu, Moola, Jeeva. Dhatu means minerals and metals. Okay. Moola means roots and herbs. And Jeeva means animals. So also this can help you. Dhatu, Moola, Jeeva. So if you're doing a fire ritual, many fire rituals also, they give the minerals or the metals to that devata. In the final, they call it, Purnahuti. Purnahuti is when the final yagna is completed. You give, all the fruits and everything. You give also some minerals and metals as well.
Right.
In the fire. So that can be done. And then Moola is roots and herbs. And then you can see there is Jeeva. Jeeva is animals. See, many times when you're suffering from depression or something, you might have a pet which could actually make your life much better. A dog or a cat around you.
Right.
So imagine you're traveling and you're fallen sick. Okay. And when you come back to your home and come back to your pet or your animal, you suddenly feel that, okay, I feel better now. Or you come back to the people you love, your near and dear ones. Again, you feel the wellness. So that is the Jeeva. Jeeva is not only animals, it is also people around you or animals or whatever.
Right. So, for example, with the Jeeva, that's specific to Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. And what are there are specific animals named in this way that you're thinking for Gemini, for Virgo, for Sagittarius and Pisces? Is that so? Or is it just animals in general?
Animals in general, I've not gone and studied more. I think definitely there could be some animals associated with them.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious.
I have some trees listed down because when you talk about minerals, okay, there you go. For each of those rashis, this is what is recommended.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
Right? These are the rashis and the trees associated with them.
Uh-huh.
So you have your Aries is a red sandalwood, Taurus is, they say, Indian devil tree. I don't know. All these names are collated it from some source.
Right. Okay.
So all these are trees.
Okay.
So you probably have the roots of those trees or the bark of the tree or something like that, which will help you. So them with you could also enhance the qualities of that,
Right. Yeah. Excellent. Good.
So largely, I think, you can also use the direction. So if there is a specific remedy that you're doing, maybe you can enhance that remedy by also knowing what direction is that Rashi in. It's very simple. Again, these are all absolute basics. So if it is your Aries, then it is east. That's the direction of Aries. Taurus is south, Gemini is west, and so on and so forth.
And these are also based on the elements, right? The fire elements, east and so on. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. So this is the absolute basics of understanding these.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, what we've learned is that when we're thinking about remedies, that what we're going to do is we're going to figure out the element, and from that element, we'll be able to determine the best approach with that remedy, and we'll be able to zero it in even with the direction and whether it's Dhatu, Moola, or Jeeva, and so on.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So you can use all of these concepts and maybe come up with your own remedies. So you don't have to go by what is written the ancient texts. You can form your own remedies on the basis of knowing what is. So this is very logical. So if somebody tells you now, I want to do this remedy, now you can actually reason them. Why are you doing this specific remedy? Why not this?
Right.
So you can create your own remedies.
But it will also help people find the specific one for them based on their chart. It's not just everyone gets a blue sapphire who has a problem with Saturn. Right. Okay.
No.
Excellent. Okay.
Now, let me go very briefly very quickly with Lal Kitab. I will, take 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Sun is associated with wheat. So, and jaggery. So wheat flour, feeding wheat flour to red ants is a very good remedy for the sun.
Okay.
Right. So all of these are collated from the internet or from Lal Kitab. Lal Kitab and from the internet. So you can use these remedies. So if it is moon, then it's milk, it's silver, So all of these, drink a lot of water. It's very simple, drink water in a silver glass.
Right.
So these are the sort of remedies that you could do. This also will help you. So Jupiter, they say donate chana dal. It's a form of a lentil. Or make yellow turmeric rice. So these are very, very chickpeas. Okay.
Right.
Is another thing which is very, so then Venus is yogurt, curds, and sugar candy. So suppose Venus is there in a watery sign, maybe you would want to donate some sugar candies for some children.
Right.
If there is, if it is especially in Pisces, because it's ruled by Jupiter, a watery sign and ruled by Jupiter. So I would give it to children, sugar candies to children.
Right.
So similarly, you have silk clothes and articles. So all of these. So you can go and read about them. Lal Kitab is very easily available. You can buy also Lal Kitab and read them. So they're very powerful remedies and very easy. You don't have to spend. Then Mercury, it's they say butter, oil, feeding birds, feeding pigeons is a great remedy. Mars, again, you can Mars. They say masoor dal, which is red lentils.
Right.
So throw away honey or red lentils. Saturn again, till is sesame and mustard oil. So these can be very great. Then again for Rahu, there is red masoor or barley when running water and keeping river Ganges. Ketu again, you can give radish. You have jaggery, you have lemon rice, all of this. This is a very simple ways.
Right.
And finally, I conclude this by telling you about mantras. See, you have to know about the mantras, and you cannot chant any mantras because there are 6 parts to a mantras. Every mantra has 6 parts to it. It's the Rishi, it is Chanda, it's Devata, the Bija. Bija means the root, and then the Shakti. The Shakti is the direction in which, when you chant the mantra, in what direction is that mantra going to help to take you?
Right.
And the Kilak is the key, the master key. The Guru can give you the master key. You can recite, Gayatri mantra, but unless you have been initiated through a lineage, okay, you still wouldn't get the Kilak. Kilak is the key which will unlock the doors for you and give you the full benefits of that mantra. And the Rishi is very important. The Rishi always incites here. So you have to train your Rishi, because the Rishi is going to tune the frequencies for the mantra. So this is for Gayatri. The Gayatri mantra, the Rishi is Brahma Rishi Vishwamitra.
Excellent. And so when you're, for the mantras, for example, in your experience, where do you recommend someone really learn these? I mean, I know they need to be taught from, a teacher, someone with experience for them, but what do you have any particular recommendations of, best places to start? Or
I think, the best way to do that, according to me, the Vedic way is to go to a trained Vedic person and to learn from him, because he would be taught by another guru who has learned from. So there is a lineage.
Right.
So they will give you the exact pronunciation. They will also tell you, when to give the pause in the mantra, and when to raise the voice in the mantra, the intonation. Right. That is also very important.
Okay.
It is not as easy. So better than that is, if you do not want to chant the mantras, at least you can have trained Vedic priests. When they chant the mantras, you can listen to them. That is okay.
Yes, good. Makes sense. Okay.
So listen to them and see if you can start repeating slowly with them and learn from them how they are using the intonation of those mantras.
Right. Yes, that makes sense. I remember listening to a series of Vedic priests chanting, and I remember hearing the inflections and the different ways they would raise their voices you mentioned. And I always thought to myself, I wonder why this is such a consistent theme, in the way that they do it and so on. So that makes a lot of good sense. Thank you. Okay.
So I think that's about it.
Okay.
I kept a slide here, but that I think we can talk about. This is how to master your elements.
Okay.
Right. So I'll quickly talk to you. It's how to become a grandmaster of Jyotish Shastra. This is my take. I don't want to say that anybody. So if you look at it, usually one cycle of cleansing your bhutas, your Panchamahabhutas, it usually takes typically 48 days.
Okay.
Right. And think of it, if you want to do 48 days for each planet, you take about 32 days.
Okay.
So you're cleansing. See, if you take one planet and just focus on that planet and keep repeating the mantras and learning about that planet. So for 48 days, you're learning only about Mars for 48 days. About Mars. And this is how I also learned, because then the planet will open up to you. Because when you do this cycle, it opens up what we call as Jyotish Nadi. There is a vein, there is a pulse in you. And when you open that up, then you could probably connect very well, and your intuition powers are going to be greater. So typically, if you add all of these, it shows that it comes to 108 days.
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
1008 days. And that is where 1008 petals that you see is the crown chakra.
Right.
So if you want to become a complete grandmaster of Jyotish, it will take you 1008 days if you follow this system.
That's not too long. That's only, 3 years? or so. But
nobody has the time, and nobody wants to learn Jyotish that way.
right. Well, just out of curiosity, looking at this text here, I'm curious because all throughout my life, I've focused mainly on Shani. I've read The Greatness of Saturn over and over. I fasted on Saturdays. I've done the mantras and these sorts of things. And I'm curious, from your perspective, would that be an imbalanced approach, or would it be better to spend time, as you're describing here, specifically on each of the planets to develop it all the way around rather than just one particular planet? Is that so?
See, so my sense is, again, it's my viewpoints.
Yeah.
Now, if you go to the gymnasium, okay, on a Monday you might work on your biceps. On a Tuesday you might work on your thighs, and then on a Wednesday you might work on your abs. Mm-hmm. You keep rotating them, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So if you want to build a complete understanding of Jyotish Shastra, then you have to really align with all of them. Okay. So you don't go to the gymnasium just to build your forceps or your right. Or your shoulders. Right. So you work each day. You work on the, and I wonder sometimes, Ryan, why don't we have astro gyms?
Yes. Yeah.
Where you can work on one planet on a day, right. And you get exercises, you get things to think only about that planet. Uh-huh. And the next day you might work on another planet. You right. can do that as well. Or I have known people in the Vedic sciences who actually follow this system of Bhuta Siddha. Bhuta Siddha means master of the elements. You become an absolute master of the elements, and then you don't need to look at charts. Right. How many of them want to spend 3 years doing this? Nobody wants. People want fast food astrology today. People right. want techniques that they can start predicting in the next second. In 5 nanoseconds, they want to predict. They want to this. Nobody wants to go through the grind. Right.
Well, just out of curiosity, I mean, this might need to be something that we talk about at another time, but I am curious, when we're looking at this and we're looking at like one cycle of cleansing of 5 elements, would we tie this back to like the remedies that we were discussing, or is this something on a different level?
No, this is exactly where, I come from. Is okay. The remedies that you do, typically, they say, Lal Kitab, they say 43 days to 48 days. And this is the reason.
Okay, I see.
So you keep doing one activity in Lal Kitab. So suppose you're doing a mantra, you don't break the cycle of the mantra for 48 days.
Right.
Because if you break it, as Lal Kitab also says, if you break it, then you have to start from zero again.
Right, exactly. Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. So this is the reason, because you want to gain complete mastery over that element.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good. Good.
But this is my theory. I know people might have other viewpoints, but this is just a proposition that I have come across, and I'm showing it to you. And when you add all of them together, when you add the numbers together, it comes to this magic number of 1008 days, right. Which is equivalent to the 1008 petals. You see, Vishnu has the serpent, which is Ananta Sheshnag. It's again the 1008 hood. It's basically saying he's an awakened, Kundalini awakened master.
Right. Well, that's good. And I mean, I want to explore this a little bit more. So we might have to do some more talks on this, if you don't mind.
Definitely.
Yeah, but because intuitively, this does make quite a bit of sense to me. So I think it's great that you're sharing this with individuals. So excellent.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, do you have any final thoughts, or would you like to just conclude with this particular slide here?
Yeah, I think this is my last slide, Ryan. Okay. Unless you have any questions, I'm happy to take any questions you have. Or
I don't. I think I asked most of them as we went, but maybe what we can do is, if listeners have questions, we can keep track of those. And if you pay attention to them, you can answer them. But if not, maybe we could do a follow-up video sometime, speaking to those questions and maybe explore this a little bit more.
Sure. Definitely, okay. Ryan.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to be with us today. The information you shared, I think, can be extremely helpful for people, especially in how beautiful and how simple it is. But I'm really interested in this last slide. So we'll save some time to do that for a whole nother video.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much, Frank.
Yep. Thank you for being with us.